when did we meet?
It took about 3 years after, yeah.
Yeah, almost, well, 3.5 years ago, we sat down. I said, well, I can go to London. He said, no, I'd like to go to Spain anyway. I'd like to go to Madrid, and he came down. He also went to some museums, and he saw some things he liked. But we sat down to have some lunch, and then about 5 hours later, we walked out of lunch, right? I mean, we sat there and talked and talked, and it was great. And I very much liked his ideas and, you know, what he had to say about this particular story and about the historical period, you know, and your associations with particular film noir movies, with photography, and I don't know, just we hit it off really well. And then I thought, well, next year we'll be shooting this, and it was sort of like his way to make the movie. We had a couple of years at least before we really knew we probably could do it. And he used that time really well. We both did, actually, in talking about it. And the thing that drew me initially, I got more and more interested in. There's this particular, you know, you saw it in Talented Mr. Ripley, and you see it in other stories that Highsmith has, you know, where you see basically middle class or purporting to be middle class or upper middle class in this case, American tourists behaving badly in Europe, basically, you know. But there's something about it. One of the reasons that they could get away with that, or Chester could, I think, in part, is that at that point, 1962, you know, it wasn't like now. It was different. You know, there was still that glow. Goodwill generally toward the Americans post-World War II, and even if they seemed a little bit clumsy or throwing their money around, I was like, well, but they're basically decent, you know, and so that helped. It was part of his front, you know, the bumbling, well-to-do tourists and so forth. All of that seems interesting, an era long before all the means of communication we have now, you know. Otherwise, the story wouldn't have worked if you had cell phones and so forth and internet. But all of that historically was interesting to me, and because it's a very well-written character, like all of Highsmith's characters. But the extra layers that Haas put on it made it. I mean, so as an actor, it's always fun to play someone with secrets, someone who's lying, and you don't know where the lies stop, you know, that sort of thing. This is very, very just on the page already, and when I first read it, I thought this is a great character.
And how much did you get into